Auckland in New Zealand celebrating first and with style the start of 2026. Laser lights and a firework display over the city's Sky Tower and Harbour Bridge. Then just a few hours after that, Sydney welcoming in the new year with a display over the harbour with 40,000 pyrotechnic effects stretching 7 kilometres across buildings and barges, which included, of course, the iconic Harbour Bridge and Opera House. We also saw Malaysia celebrate the new year. These were the scenes from Kuala Lumpur. And we also took a moment to see a rather extraordinary display from China, Beijing, where the new year was drawn in with a countdown and a drum performance at a section of the Great Wall. Of course, we'll continue to mark the new year as countries bring in 2026, and we'll have a special programme later tonight.
Hello there. A cold wind all the way from the Arctic is heading our way over the next few days. Having said that, tonight's not going to be as cold as last night. That's because pressure is falling, and this low pressure in this weather front is bringing some windier, cloudier and wetter weather southwards across the northern half of the UK overnight. Bit of rain pushing into northern England and Wales. Following on from that, the showers in northern Scotland do begin to turn wintry as we get the first signs of that Arctic air arriving, but those temperatures are not as low as they were last night. We'll start with a bit of rain to clear away from southern areas on New Year's Day. Following on from that, though, there will be some sunshine, but a stream of showers come in as well. These are generally of rain, except in the northern half of Scotland, where we've got some more sleet and snow. And here it's going to be particularly windy. Mind you, the winds will be stronger everywhere on New Year's Day, so that will certainly take the edge off the temperatures. And after dark, the showers in Northern Ireland could turn wintry, the risk of some snow and ice. And just for a short while, could be a bit of snow falling across Wales, heading into the Midlands and southern England. That will then clear away and leave some icy conditions for Friday morning. And leave us still with the winds coming all the way from the Arctic, bringing in some sunshine, but also some more snow showers. And northern parts of Scotland are directly in the firing line from Thursday through to Sunday. Frequent heavy snow showers, and that is likely to bring some continued travel disruption.
I'm in Malaysian Borneo, my family's homeland, tasting a tropical bounty of indigenous ingredients and learning how tribal traditions and international influences are celebrated in this region's cuisine. Join me, Nick Queck, for Discovering the World's Table on BBC News.
As AI-generated tracks top the charts and streaming platforms are deluged with AI-made music, is the industry being taken over by artificial intelligence? We'll hear from a former major label boss and a leading music streamer on how the industry's fighting back. That's Talking Business this week on BBC News.
We're going inside the world of entertainment TV with the people behind some of the biggest hits.
Celebrity Traitors, Hunted, Pointless, all are formats enjoyed by millions around the world. But how do you go from an idea to a blockbuster?
It's all on The Media Show on BBC News.
This is better known to you and me as a flying car.
This is not your typical farm. It's food of the future.
A highly secure facility that monitors foreign governments' attempts to destabilise democracy.
Why are we so suited and booted for this task?
The idea is to learn more about how volcanoes behave so that we can better predict eruptions. This is a prime location for big companies to show us their latest products.
I'm going to go in and have a look. Using technology, distribution is now 98% efficient.
This is the potential of electric power in the marine industry. Can we fire it up?
Once we close the doors behind us, no one can hear you scream.
I better not touch it anymore.
This is one of the most incredible things I've ever done.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Tech Now. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
welcome. You're with BBC News. I'm Kasia Madeira. Queen Camilla has praised the courage of the BBC racing commentator John Hunt and his family after his wife Carol and 2 daughters, Louise and Hannah, were killed by Louise's ex-partner. In a conversation with John and his surviving daughter Amy, the Queen also shared publicly for the first time her experience of being indecently assaulted as a teenager. The Queen was speaking during a discussion on violence against women on BBC Radio 4's Today programme, guest edited by the former Prime Minister Baroness Theresa May and moderated by Emma Barnett.
This year, as part of Radio 4's Today programme Guest Editor season, we invited Baroness Theresa May, the former Conservative Prime Minister, to influence our New Year's Eve edition. She wanted to talk about violence against women. Tackling the issue was a central priority for her, first as Home Secretary and then later as Prime Minister. She was joined by John and Amy Hunt, whose family were killed by Kyle Clifford. Her Majesty the Queen wanted to meet with the Hunts and Baroness May to discuss domestic violence, a subject she has felt strongly about for many years. What you're about to see is an extended edit of that discussion. We're here together today to try and raise awareness of domestic violence and violence against women and girls, especially in the run-up to Christmas time and New Year, when we know charities and helplines receive a 15% or so rise in calls on the issue. We've brought you, John and Amy, together with Her Majesty in light of what happened to your family and your desire to help protect more women and change some men's behaviour, and an issue that is very close to our guest editor's heart and working life, Baroness May. I also know that Your Majesty and His Majesty the King wrote to you after what happened, after the murders of your wife and 2 daughters and your mum and sisters, Amy. So I just want to say to all of you, thank you so much for being here, and to you, John and Amy, in particular. John and Amy, if I could come to you first, perhaps you, John, and just start by saying it must be something to be here with Her Majesty and to be in this situation overall. Why do you want to talk today?
Amy and I have travelled such a long way since the 9th of July 2024, the day the girls were murdered. And one thing we've realised is that there is a growing capacity to find energy and to find purpose, which on the 10th of July we thought had disappeared forever.
And Amy, you would never have imagined you'd be in this position.
No. And I think that's the thing that has become so obvious to us over the last year and a half, is that domestic violence and domestic abuse stretches across classes, ages, locations. And I think no one anticipates being in this situation. And I think that's the reason why stopping it, doing what we can to stop this horror that is inflicted on so many women and their families is so important, because you just don't know who might face abuse, violence.
Yes. The statistics, when you look through and you see what they are, and I know, Your Majesty, you've been working on this for years now, you care deeply. 1 woman is killed in the UK every 3 days, as is the estimate. And I know that, the Hunts case touched you deeply.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to John and Amy for coming here today in these very difficult circumstances, and how important it is for them to talk about it, which I know they do all the time, not only for all the other people who it has happened to and who it will happen to, but for themselves, because I think it's a cathartic moment for them. The more they can talk about it, the more you can try and get rid of these terrible demons and the terrible memory of what happened to you.
And also talking about it.
And talking about it.
The taboo around this can be huge.
It's huge. I mean, and that's why I think it's so wonderful they can come up and talk to people about it. It's going to help so many people.
Let me bring in our guest editor today, Baroness May. You brought in the Domestic Violence Act during your time as Prime Minister.